It's no secret that I'm a Hutchie former pupil, but when it came to education for my own three children, I knew it had to be Hutcheson's Grammar School because of the people that work there. People like Jane Ritchie, because Jane has an incredible knack of understanding the children, knowing what their talents are, even when they don't know what they are, and bringing out the very best in them, which is really all you want as a parent, isn't it, from a teacher. I never would have believed that my son Robbie would have got up on that stage and performed in Guys and Dolls until I saw it with my own eyes. And that was sheer encouragement from Jane. My youngest daughter Jodie, she left Hutchie, 3 years ago now. She didn't study music while she was there because she wanted that to be her passion. But of course, now that she's following her dream, she's realised that she needed a certain qualification to get into her chosen university. And she went back to Hutchie and she asked Jane, is there any way you could help me with this? Because I know I can do it, because you've told me that I can do it. And Jane, without hesitation, jumped and said, of course, we'll help you with that. No problem at all. And I'm delighted that she's got to her chosen dream and she will, go far in life with her music. And that's the kind of thing you want from a school, and that's the kind of thing you want from a teacher. Not because of the job, but because of the passion. If you cut Jane in half, she would have Hutcheson's Grammar School written right through the middle like a piece of rock. I remember doing a charity fundraiser for Emmaus a few years back with Hutchie, and we raised £40,000 in one night because of Jane Ritchie. She pushed and she cajoled in a really lovely way. She managed to get all these parents to get involved, to donate and to entertain, and as a result, the charity had a fantastic night, as did we. So yeah, people make places for me, and Hutcheson's Grammar School is Jane Ritchie.
Hi, my name's Elisa Walton. I've been a mum at Hutchie for over 20 years. I just want to say that I think Jane Ritchie would be fantastic for the job of head of the primary school. She is approachable as a parent and a teacher. Certainly with my big boys who have been gone from the school for many years, still talk about her and the influence she had on them. If there was ever a problem, she brought it to you and everything was nipped in the bud. There was never any issues that went on for too long. I understand that new blood is sometimes a good thing, but I think the primary school here is a very special family environment, and I think somebody who's got a familiar face and longevity and is a true part of the fibre of the building would be amazing for the job. I think she has got a quality that is unsurpassed by anyone else. She really has. I haven't ever heard a negative word about her. She's warm, she's a parent, she would never walk past you in the playground. She's approachable, and I just genuinely believe she'd be fantastic for the job.
Mrs. Ritchie is without a doubt an inspirational teacher. She's motivated, she encourages all the children in her class, and she's very approachable. She, without a doubt, has all the children's best interests at heart, and you can see how positive the children feel, not just about language after being in her class, but about being a Hutchesonian. It's so evident how well motivated these children are because they feel believed in. Mrs. Ritchie is definitely one of those teachers that I know my daughter will remember forever, and she's without a doubt one of the reasons that I am so proud that my child is a Hutchesonian.
Since joining Hutchie, I have absolutely relished all my time that I have spent teaching with Jane Ritchie. Jane is truly an innovator, as can be seen through the brilliant course that she's created for languages, and it's very unique, and I have not seen in my 20 years of teaching anything like it in another school. It's fantastic. But not only is she an innovator, she's a motivator, because Jane very quickly motivated me and was able to explain her passion about the course and instill that passion in me as well and help me to understand it. But within all that, she's still very flexible and was willing to take on board my ideas of changes to make to the course and encourage me to think of new things to bring to make the course even better. But she also purchased resources to help me in this as well. But not only did she do that, she herself took on board my ideas and has adopted many of them as well in the classroom, which shows that she's willing to learn from other colleagues as well. In my 20 years of teaching, I have never taught with someone who has had such a passion for the job. And all I can say is that there's clearly only one reason where this passion comes from, and it's the kids. Everything Jane does is for the pupils, for their benefit so that they will achieve and have the best learning experience possible, not just within the classroom, but out with the classroom as well.
I just want to take this opportunity to say a few words regarding Jane Ritchie and her role in Hutchie. Jane is simply one of the most inspirational teachers and leaders that this school could possibly have. Everything she does has the children at heart and has the ethos of the school at heart. She goes the extra mile in everything that she ever does. Everything is always to do with what the children can do. Even when they're not actually entirely sure what they are able to do, she brings it out in them. And that is something she does not just with children, but she does with people as well. As a figurehead and as a source of inspiration and a creator of genuine ethos, Jane has all these talents in absolute abundance. And I couldn't think of anybody better to put the primary school in as a safe pair of hands.
I've taught with Jane Ritchie for many years now, both at Kingar Street and at Beaton Road. Jane has a passion for modern languages, but not just a passion for modern languages, a passion for teaching. She's a born teacher, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my classes with her. The pupils thoroughly enjoy their lessons, very interactive lessons, and the range of languages that she speaks and teaches is incredible. She's an inspirational teacher, and outside the classroom, walking along the Cloisters corridor, or indeed any corridor in the school, pupils are so happy to see her, to see a familiar, cheery face, and this is very important for new S1s who've come from Kingar Street to Beaton Road, maybe feeling a little bit unsure of themselves in a new big school, and basically just the comfort that seeing a familiar, cheery face in the corridor brings to them is something very special, I think, bridging that gap between Kingar Street and Beaton Road. As I say, a thoroughly inspirational teacher, a great organiser. She enters into everything with the school with great spirit, and yeah, an excellent teacher.
There is no one to whom Hutchesons is more important than it is to Jane Ritchie. Her love and dedication to the pupils is matched only by the love and respect they show her in return. As a colleague, I hold her in the highest regard. And I hope that the school will be able to utilise her many skills and attributes, her intelligence, her warmth, her quick-wittedness, her humour, to their fullest potential.
Mrs. Ritchie is a wonderful language teacher because she makes languages fun.
Mrs. Ritchie's lessons are always fun because she puts the fun into the lessons.
Hi, I'm Marnie. I've been a pupil at Hutchesons Grammar School for 6 years, and Mrs. Ritchie's been my languages teacher for most of my languages, and she is the best teacher in Hutchie. She's the nicest teacher, and whenever there's something wrong, she's got a great way to solve it. And if you've been bad, she'll tell you off, but she's not mean. She's really nice, and she's the best teacher I've ever had in Hutchie. And I've had millions of teachers. She's the best teacher ever. So I love Mrs. Ritchie. She's my favourite.
Mrs. Ritchie is the best teacher because on Stuart House days, she goes all out. She even has yellow shoes.
My grandfather, who runs some schools in India, was conducting some teacher interviews and was discussing with my dad what qualities he's looking for in teachers that he hires. They were saying they should be loyal to students, kind, caring, good-hearted, a role model, but most of all, down to earth and all I could think of was Mrs. Ritchie. P5 I started at Hutchie, and Mrs. Ritchie was my teacher. It was an extremely daunting experience, and Mrs. Ritchie helped me to integrate into the school with such ease. No class with her was ever boring. There was never a dull moment, and I couldn't wait to go to her classes every day. She taught me so many skills and values that I still use today, and I couldn't thank her more. It really goes to say that she is both a remarkable person and an amazing teacher. Thank you, Mrs. Ritchie, for everything you've done for me and the school.
What can I say about Mrs. Ritchie? She's the most colourful and joyful person I have ever met. She has the best taste in fashion, always coming in bright patterned clothes, and she can always make something that seemed boring fun. And throughout my 10 years at Hutchie, I have never met a more inspirational, funny and mad teacher. I had Mrs. Ritchie as a teacher in Primary 5, and I will always remember not knowing what we would be doing each day. Would we be learning more Scottish phrases? Would we be doing our favourite 5-a-day dance in Spanish? Would we be singing to our favourite The River Clyde song? Or would we be skipping up and down the hall singing to the Stuart House song? But whatever it was, you knew it would be fun. My favourite memory of being in Mrs. Ritchie's class was when it was Pirates Week, and she would make us run around the school as a punishment, and although it was meant to be a punishment, our whole class loved it. These are just some of the memories that I have with Mrs. Ritchie, and even 5 years later I still remember them all, and will never forget how exciting every day would be. Most of all, Mrs. Ritchie is a very inspirational teacher who I will never forget.
Jane Ritchie is probably the most influential teacher that I had in the 11 years that I spent at Hutchie. And even though she was never even my one-on-one teacher, she was the most memorable and influential person in my entire school life. The great thing about Jane as well is she actually genuinely cares about every single one of the students and wants to know them personally and individually and genuinely cares about them as a person. And it's not that she's easy on the students, it's not like she mollycoddles them or anything. She gets the job done, and she's a fantastic teacher. I cannot sing her praises anymore, and her heart is always in the right place, no matter what happens. And I particularly remember that in my primary 7, when I was auditioning for the primary 7 show, every girl wants to be the princess, and when you're at 10, 11 years old and you're told that, oh, can you play the boy part? And I was asked to play the Pirate King, and she made me realise that it's okay for girls to play male parts and to step out of their comfort zone and be that big character. And at that age, it's that age you hit where, everything is so essential. And she built my confidence so much, not only in the primary 7 show, but throughout my entire school life, in primary school and senior school, because she's always there, she's always around. She's Superwoman. She was always there. Somehow managed to be there for everyone. And even after I left school, 3 years after I left Hutchie, I was applying to university, and I needed help with something, and I knew who I could go back to. I went back to Jane, and within a second she said, of course, I will help you. I'll get someone else to help you. And she did. And I passed the exam, and now I'm in the university of my dreams, and I cannot thank her enough for that. Genuinely, I would not have been able to do it without her. And I know that to this day and in the future, I'll always be able to go back to her and ask for help or just see her. She's just a great person in general. I cannot recommend her more. And honestly, the most incredible teacher that I've had in my entire school life.
Hi, my name's Laurie Anderson, and Jane Ritchie taught me when I was in primary 7 of school. I think everybody can look back on their time in education and pinpoint one teacher who they truly remember as being influential in their career. And for me, that was certainly Jane Ritchie. It would be a waste of everybody's time for me to sit here and tell you how faultless her ability to teach the curriculum was, because that will be proven in, as I'm sure was the case back then and is the case now, the success of her pupils. What makes Jane and what makes her lessons so special, over and above the fact that she has a clear and absolute passion for teaching, is the time and care that she would give to every individual pupil, there would be music, there was laughter, there were quizzes, there was a constant challenge to improve your vocabulary that I think brought out a competitive streak in everybody. The fondest memory that I have of both Jane and my time at primary school was partaking in our Primary 7 production of The Boyfriend. Now, it's hard enough to make over 100 10 and 11-year-olds stand still for a minute, never mind nearly single-handedly casting, directing and producing a full musical production. But that is exactly what she did. It's a time that inspired me to have a love of drama that I carried with me throughout the whole of my secondary school career and beyond. And it's a production that my friends and I still talk about with great fondness. All of our parents still talk about it. And I think somebody who can create something so special that is still spoken about over 10 years later is truly not only an excellent educator, but an exceptional human being. I think if you ask Jane now to name every single person in Hutchie Primary, she would absolutely be able to do it. She would probably be able to tell you their parents' names and all of their older siblings from years gone by. I cannot think of a better person to be at the helm of Hutchie Primary. I don't know if there's a human on this earth who has a greater understanding of the ethos of Hutcheson's Grammar School. And I don't think there's a person who better encapsulates the spirit of what it truly is to be a Hutchesonian better than Jane Ritchie.